Hmm. Hello and welcome to the Bluegrass Sports Show, or
We are the BS Show. We are two
uh,
fat guys talking crap. We are the chaps of chunk.
hmm. What was I going to say? Oh, I'm Carl.
Yeah, you're going to say your name. And I'm Perry.
I was actually going to say my name.
Good
Are
job.
you?
That's what I'm
So
saying.
today, oh man, bunch of idiots up here. But today we are going to talk about, we're going to talk about the recent trades in the NBA
Not
that
just
have,
trades.
that have led to what we're seeing right now, and what we're looking at.
Some shake up.
So yeah, just shake up in the NBA. So we're gonna talk about the D Wade. We're gonna talk about the Carmelo Anthony. We're gonna talk about a few different things if Perry's phone would quit buzzing. Um, he's popular.
I'm a
Anyway.
man. I'm a man on top of my topics.
Oh,
This is
okay.
me getting information delivered to my viewers.
You got an inside person? Oh man. So
Insider, I hardly know her.
man, I can't believe you just said it on video.
What we're going to talk today, while he's sitting over there in his la la land,
Flabbergasted.
flabbergasted, what we're going to discuss.
And that's how you say the word, by the way.
I don't care. What we've had this week, we've had a couple of shakeups in the NBA,
We
a couple
have.
of roster moves.
We have.
While I don't necessarily think it alters the top,
Shut up, Barry.
in a game of Jenga, you alter pieces in the middle. It all comes down. What we're going to talk about today, we're going to talk about a buyout, and we're going to talk about a trade.
Yeah. Monumental.
Well, I'm not going to say monumental, but
It's pretty big.
we will call it
monumental for the Knicks.
We will call.
That's what I like. Got rid of Melo. Hate Melo. Anyway.
And I just Knicks are awful.
They'll start getting better
Awful.
now that Melo ain't there, though.
I don't know.
I hope so.
Awful.
They've been terrible for a while. Anyway, so what do you want to start with? Which one?
Well, Melo came first to start with.
Let's talk about Melo. So now he's went to the OKC, correctly?
To the OKC, yes.
Yeah, to the whatever. Shut. Anyway,
To the
to the Thunder. And me personally, I kind of like it. I hate Melo, but I kind of like it. Melo has came out and said that he will be playing the 4. So I kind of like their setup. I really do, with Westbrook and then Paul George and then Melo. I kind of like it. Now there's not a whole lot of defense coming from Melo at all. Pretty much non-existent, but offensively they're going to be a pretty stout team. Now what I do like so much about, and I'm just going to talk about a collective here. When we talk about the West,
Who phone's vibrating now, jerk?
Sorry, Perry.
Sorry.
So, but when we talk about the West now, I really like the competition aspect of it, because now you've got Warriors, Spurs.
I want to have the Spurs too.
I do too.
But just
No,
we're gonna have to wait and see.
no, shut up. The Spurs are right here.
2 through 5 is a fight, man.
Well, I'm gonna say 2 through 6. Wait a minute. Let me do my math here. Who's your 5? Or 2 through 5? Who's
through 5.
Who's the 4 teams there?
The 4 teams, of course, and this is in no order. This is the
Right,
Rockets, the
right,
Spurs, the Thunder, and the Timberwolves.
Okay, you've got Timberwolves. Okay, that's my math was wrong, because I didn't know if you was including it. So, all right, and then the East though. Okay, we've got Cavs, Boston, and Washington. And then
Why don't you give Toronto a little bit of respect?
no, Toronto's right there. Like, you got Boston, Washington, Toronto, the rest. Okay, that's how I look at it. But the Cavs are like this. Okay, especially adding the D Wade in now, and I like their roster. I really do. I like their roster.
Are we talking about Oklahoma City or Cleveland?
No. We're talking about Cleveland. Sorry, I'm jumping here.
I haven't even got a chance to talk about
Well,
Carmelo
go
yet.
ahead. Go ahead.
We'll get to Cleveland in a minute. You all ain't going nowhere. You're Cleveland. Where do you have to go? But anyways, I'm actually opposite.
Hey,
you.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to cut you off. But these last 2 videos that we've shot, talking about the Rick Pitino one yesterday, very fun. Like, I'm having a lot of fun with these. Go ahead. Sorry.
Well, whenever we talk about the Oklahoma City aspect with adding Melo, I actually don't like that trade.
You don't like it?
No.
Okay.
And let me explain why. Whenever the rumor of him going to Houston was the popular thing, or him going to Cleveland, it didn't fix woes, but it made just a little bit more sense because he could still play the 4 in each situation, and he still would play the 4 in each situation. But the personnel with him playing the 4 is what made it better.
Yeah.
In Oklahoma City, what you're doing, while you have 3 immaculate names, with Russell Westbrook, Paul George, and now Carmelo Anthony, and then you throw in the aspect of having Andre Roberson to play the 2 and Steven Adams at the 5. That's actually, even with Melo at the 4, that's a decent, pretty good defensive lineup.
Oh yeah.
And you've got a little bit.
I'm just saying Melo's terrible.
You've got a little bit of decent depth as well. Of course, this moves Patterson to coming off the bench. Patterson's a solid bench player.
He is.
Of course, he was going to start beforehand. Now, a little bit difference in class there. Patterson, when asked about Melo coming in and playing the 4 and starting, he said it's about the team. I'm tickled to death we got Melo. It's not about my minutes. It's about us winning. Carmelo asked about if he comes off the bench. He goes, who, me?
Yeah, exactly.
That's a little bit difference in class, sir. Yeah. But I'm not here to bust on his class. We're talking about the impact on the team. We're just
talking about him in general, too, which is terrible. But
you all know our opinions.
And now they've got him and Paul George.
You all know our opinions of these guys. What we're giving you right now is how this affects the NBA. We'll touch later on a preseason video down the line somewhere. But you've got, as far as percentage points scored by each individual player, on the Thunder now, you have 3 of the top 10 players last year with percentage points scored in isolation.
Mm-hmm.
You've got 3 guys that's going to isolate a lot on that team. Now, Westbrook averaged a triple-double. He's going to get dimes. With George and Melo spreading the floor now, let's see how Westbrook plays that way. But to me, I look at it a lot like Houston, and I look at it a lot like Boston. They're going to be a very fun regular season team that's going to put up a lot of points. They're going to be better defensively, in my opinion, than Houston.
Well,
and definitely better defensively than Boston. But to me, Oklahoma City, that's NBA 2K did a simulation of the season. Oklahoma City won the title.
Oh.
They beat the Warriors in the second round and then beat the Rockets in the Western Conference Finals. But
so the Spurs didn't make it, boys.
But what you have in this aspect, you've got 3 ball-dominant players as far as scoring goes.
Completely ball-dominant.
We're not going to know until the ball bounces as to how it plays out.
Now, I do want your opinion on this. When looking at those 3 guys, which one of those 3 guys do you see coming out as the man?
Westbrook. It's his team.
I know that, but do you think the other 2 are going to be fine with that? I don't.
Melo, at this point in his career, needs to be fine with
it. He needs to be.
Paul
but
George,
he's like Allen Iverson. Put him on the bench, he's going overseas.
Paul George, it's to be determined. That's why I'm saying you have 3 guys that was ranked in the top 10 as far as the highest percentage of their points scored in isolation last year.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to have to wait and see what happens.
Yeah. Now, I just think they're going to clash.
Go ahead and tell me about Cleveland.
I do completely think they're going to clash. Now, Cleveland, I love. Well, let's rephrase that. I don't love their team, but I like their team a lot better now. I like getting rid of Kyrie. Sorry, guys. I like that trade. I don't necessarily like the trade because essentially to me, you're trading almost 2 identical players in the sense that they're scorers. That's all they are. They're scorers. They're not very good defensively.
If you're Boston, you're getting just a little bit younger with Kyrie.
Yeah.
And
maybe even less shooting.
And you're getting off of the aspect of what's going on with Isaiah Thomas's hip. You're completely banking this on LeBron leaving and Isaiah Thomas never being the same.
Right.
If you're Boston.
So, but you throw in D-Wade now. But the only issue is ain't he out for a little bit for his hip already? Like we know he's going to
They're expecting Isaiah Thomas to be out until January.
Okay, if he's out till January.
Don't matter.
It's going to be a rough start with Derrick Rose and Dwayne Wade and LeBron James, 3 guys that cannot shoot the 3 very good at all. Okay, your best shooter now becomes your power forward, and that's Kevin Love. That's your best shooter on the team in the starting lineup. Let me rephrase, in the starting lineup with the injuries. Now, after January, that's a whole other story. You throw in Isaiah Thomas, and I would love to see them play Isaiah Thomas off ball. I would love to see him being a spot-up shooter, and he would do great because you've got two guys that can handle the ball with Dwayne Wade and LeBron James that can bring it up the floor. Let Isaiah get open.
You're not talking about the Wade aspect of this enough. You're previewing Cleveland as a team.
I know, yeah.
What I want to talk about,
OKC.
What I'm going to do, but we was doing that in context to what the addition of Melo does.
Right.
The addition with what Wade brings to Cleveland, Wade brings stabilization to LeBron.
Yes.
If nothing else. Kyrie Irving come out in a statement today or yesterday, one of the two, and he essentially sounded like a bitter ex-girlfriend, saying the entire time I'm there, all I'm getting told, well, Wade would do this, Wade would do that. That's his best friend. I hope they're happy and I wish them success. Just sounds like an ex-girlfriend. Kyrie Irving's an idiot. But what you get with Dwayne Wade, you get that extra stabilization of another player who could play a point-like position with the absence of Isaiah Thomas. Now, this isn't 2010, 2011 Dwayne Wade teaming up with LeBron.
No.
This is a slowed-down Dwayne Wade. It's still Dwayne Wade.
He's still the man.
Dwayne Wade still knows how to play the game.
Yep.
Dwayne Wade still got this. LeBron's on top of his game right now. You add in the aspect with Wade at this point in his career, with Love having his best season in Cleveland last year. Love's only getting stronger, folks. You add in the
How old is he? Like 29?
Kevin Love, he's in his late 20s, I'm assuming. But you add in that aspect. You add in the aspect to where now with Wade, that puts J.R. Smith back in his natural spot.
Yep.
He's a sixth man.
Sixth man, yep.
Where all he's got to do is be a spark plug off the bench to provide offense.
Yep.
Now, how the starting lineup looks for the postseason, how they mesh, we'll have to see. Like I said, they're going to be January likely without Isaiah Thomas the most. They don't need Isaiah Thomas for the regular season.
No,
they need
They're making it period.
They need Isaiah Thomas back in the second half of the season to get accustomed with the team.
Yep, and then playoffs.
That's what they need. That's where they need Isaiah Thomas. They're going to be a top 3 seed in the East, likely top 2 seed with Isaiah Thomas or without him. They would be a top 3 or 2 seed in the East without Derrick Rose. You could start whoever you wanted to at that point guard spot.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to win. LeBron's going to win in the Eastern Conference.
Yes.
Especially with Kevin Love and now Dwayne Wade. He's going to win. What Wade does, you just add that security blanket back to LeBron.
Yeah, and you also give him a teammate that he loves playing with, that he knows how to play with. Them two are. I bring this up a lot when talking about myself, me and Brandon. Right, when we used to play, we didn't have to see each other to know where each other was. Right, and that's what you're getting with LeBron and D Wade. They know each other like the back of their hands. They're going to just mesh immediately as soon as they step on the floor.
Wade also brings you a mindset of a veteran who has done nothing but win his entire career.
And he can also create his own shot, which is what LeBron wanted.
Now, what these two moves do, and once again, this is my opinion. He may have a different opinion. You may have a different opinion. Melo to Oklahoma City, that places Oklahoma City in a situation to where now they're not, Golden State's here, Oklahoma City can be here.
Can be.
It puts them on the doorstep to where something happens and goes around Oklahoma City or in Golden State, injuries, something like that, somebody just falls off the earth. Oklahoma City has the talent, but it's paper talent.
Right.
It's not well orchestrated talent. Now with Cleveland, I love the fit of Dwayne Wade. Dwayne Wade solves a problem as far as bench offense by putting J.R. Smith back on the bench.
Moving him.
But what it doesn't do, it does not close the gap to Golden State.
It does a little.
Microscopically. And let me explain why.
Right.
Let me explain why. What the Cleveland acquisition of Dwayne Wade does, you have Cleveland here, you have Boston here.
Yep. Widens that gap.
It widens the gap with Boston.
Yep.
Supremely.
Yep.
To me, now Boston may have a better regular season record. LeBron's already learned.
They should.
I don't care what seed. As long as I have at least home court for the first 2 rounds, LeBron doesn't care.
Right.
What the Wade thing does with the Warriors, It gives them another guy that can decently defend on the court. But you're combating and adding players.
Decently defend.
It's not Dwayne Wade of old, man.
I know.
Dwayne Wade.
Dang it.
This Dwayne Wade is still going to get torched by Klay Thompson, or still going to get torched by Steph Curry. But what it does is it gives an awareness. It gives you a veteran, a champion out on the floor, which is better. That's why I said microscopically. It does have an impact, but in all else, Golden State still wins in 5. 4 if Cleveland doesn't get lucky. What you're doing, you cannot beat a team like Golden State the way they are orchestrated by building your team the same way. You cannot do that.
No.
Dwayne Wade is a fantastic acquisition. It strengthens Cleveland in the East, solidifies their spot in the East going back to the finals as long as everybody stays healthy, and they get something out of Isaiah Thomas. What it does not do, it doesn't do anything. It
doesn't put you above them.
I don't think it puts them. Maybe if Houston was to slip through and get to the finals, maybe if Oklahoma City was to slip through and get to the finals, maybe Cleveland could beat those teams with the way they're orchestrated now. But they're not beating.
You don't think they can beat the Spurs either?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. And they're not beating Golden State. The reason being,
Golden State,
you have to beat a team like
Spurs.
You have to beat Golden State. It's the way they're built. Now, Cleveland, on paper, may be a better team. It's the way they're built. It's like the 09 Magic team that upset LeBron in the Eastern Conference Finals. LeBron had a better team. LeBron was better.
Right.
But matchups, they had nobody to stop Hedo Turkoglu. Nobody to match up with him. Courtney Lee's over here going insane. What you have to look at right here, you have to beat teams like Golden State in a way that they can't match.
Right.
You can't try to match them. Well, they've got an all-star shooting guard. Let's try to get an all-star or someone who was an all-star shooting guard. They've got Kevin Durant. We need LeBron. They've got Draymond Green. Well, let's get Kevin Love. They've got Steph Curry. We need an all-star scoring point guard. What's it going to do?
Right.
Because while your guys are nice, Golden State guys are better. Not only are they better players in their prime, they're better players in their prime, and they can all defend. That's something that the Cleveland guys can't do. Cleveland.
Oh, okay. I get what you're saying.
Cleveland.
They're in their prime now.
Yes, Golden State guys are in their prime now.
Yeah, I don't know if they're better in their prime versus.
Well, probably.
That's what I thought.
Probably not. Dwayne Wade's a top 5 shooting guard of all time.
Yeah, okay.
But,
all right, good. But go ahead.
But what you have to do if you're Cleveland to get over the hump against Golden State, you have to beat them. You have to beat them in a way that Golden State cannot answer.
Can't stop.
You have to beat them inside. The acquisition of Wade is going to look good on paper. It's going to solidify LeBron going to the final for the 8th straight year. It's going to do nothing for LeBron to win another title.
Now, I'm not going to say nothing. I mean, once again, we're looking on paper. But we've seen Golden State playing together, and it's hard. Hard to stop. Really hard. But I'm right there with you. I think they got to go get Cuz or Davis or somebody.
I don't think or somebody. I think it takes Cousins or Davis.
Well, okay. I mean, maybe Cat. Maybe.
He's not available.
Well, no, he's not. He's not available, period. But I'm just saying. Like, those 3 guys are about your only options. And the reason for Davis is because he can't play center. Right? It's not like he's stuck at power forward at 7 foot. So you could leave Cub or Love in for power if you even got him. I would consider trading Love for him. I would, but if you could get him without it, that would be amazing.
If you're getting Anthony Davis, then yes, I would trade Kevin Love. If you're getting DeMarcus Cousins,
no. I probably would, but I still would.
And I think DeMarcus Cousins is exponentially better. Absolutely.
But
Kevin Love's really good.
He is really good. But I'm just saying on what you're going to be able to offer for Cuz. That's what I'm looking at.
You can play Tristan Thompson beside Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
And be fine.
Right.
because Anthony Davis is that defensive security blanket.
But what if they won't trade?
Well, I mean, it's
Tristan Thompson for
us saying this and then them actually being able to do it. That's two different things.
Right,
I 100% accept that.
That's what I'm looking at. Was what it like?
I understand that.
Will it accept it?
What I'm saying right now is that just to summarize, and of course we're running a little bit long on time.
Nah, we're good.
Well, considering your topic, nobody's wanting to hear us talk about Dwayne Wade and Carmelo Anthony all night.
True.
But to summarize, what Melo does for the Thunder on paper, it makes him fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
But if you look at the numbers and you put context into the numbers
and attitudes,
yep, it's tough.
They drop.
It's tough. Now we're going to have to wait and see what happens. That's the beauty of paper rosters.
They drop.
It's the beauty of paper rosters. But with Cleveland, the trade works fantastic. If you're like me, you already think Cleveland won the trade with Boston for this coming season.
Yeah.
Now seasons after that, you're going to have to wait and see what happens with LeBron. You're going to have to wait and see ultimately what happened with the health of Isaiah Thomas. You're going to have to wait and see what happened with the pick they got from Boston.
Right.
If they manage
now, what pick is that again? What number?
Brooklyn's pick.
I know, but what? It's not.
Well, you're not going to have.
It's not guaranteed at a certain spot.
No, but it's if you look at Brooklyn's roster compared to everybody else's roster's projection, you're looking at an easy top 5 pick.
Right.
On the surface. Now, Brooklyn may pull a rabbit out of the hat and do something, or there may be injuries elsewhere. Chicago's going to be terrible. Orlando's going to be terrible. New York's going to be terrible. Those are just teams that's in the East with them to be awful.
Right.
Atlanta's going to be terrible. So, I mean, there's going to be other bad teams in the East. Just Brooklyn, they're the only decent talent they have is an underachieving D'Angelo Russell and Jeremy Lin.
Yeah, I would put the Knicks above them with Porzingis.
Porzingis is a step above, absolutely. And then Tim Hardaway Jr., they gave him a ridiculous contract, but he's still talent.
He's solid, yeah.
And they drafted that young point guard, and they got Enes Kanter out of that deal.
Yeah.
Of course, I don't like the fit of Kanter and Porzingis specifically, but I understand.
Well, when we're talking about a defensive standpoint, Kanter's an offensive center. And Porzingis is offense.
Well, Porzingis is actually a decent defender.
He's decent.
Where Kanter's awful.
Yeah, no, they have no really solid defense in the paint. So, but, I mean, if we're just talking about that, I just think they're much better in Brooklyn.
Maybe.
I do.
But back to what I was saying. Cleveland, the acquisition of Wade, security blanket for LeBron. It's very impactful for this season with the Eastern Conference specifically. Outside of that, they still have work to do.
Yeah. I'm right there with you. I think that Warriors are the only team that beats them. I don't see the Spurs getting past them, but now that would be a really fun series to me, Spurs and Cavs. I would like it. I would love it because that means the Warriors didn't make it. And, I'm not a big fan of the Warriors at all.
So much hostility.
It's not hostility. I just love competition. I love that 2 through 5. And I hate that the Warriors above them. And I hate that it's Cavs. I hate that. I would love to see all 8 teams have a legitimate chance to make the finals.
The only way I'm cheering for Boston is if Boston trades and gets Davis or Cousins. If you have a Kentucky guy that is anchoring Boston and the leader, then I'll cheer for Boston. Outside of that, I hope Boston.
Well, I didn't say Boston had to be one of them. I'm just saying all 8 teams. I don't care if Boston don't make it. As long as there's 8 competitive teams on each side that have a chance to make the finals. That's what I want. I want that competition. It'll never happen, but that's what I want.
The Boston Celtics could forfeit their entire season due to a ferocious outbreak of gonorrhea on their roster.
Gonorrhea.
And I would think that is too good of a fate for a Boston Celtic team.
Oh my God. So, anyway, now that we've got our hatred out of the way for Boston Celtics, mine's not hatred, but I'm not a...
No, my analysis for them was 100% unbiased. I can assure you.
I mean, I know you hate them.
I hate them.
But I'm not as big of a Laker fan as you.
But I also hate LeBron. There's no player in the league I hate as much as I hate LeBron, and you've heard me do nothing but praise him.
Right, and I don't see why you hate him at that. But anyway,
I hate James Harden, and I give the Rockets credit.
No. I hate James Harden right there with you. Come on, pound that. Thank you. All right. So, as always, thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed it, hit the like button and that subscribe button. Barry, anything you want to? God. Anyway, thanks. See you guys later.